back here today. We just got the truck emptied out because I got a phone call to a buddy's house to pick up a whole bunch of scrap. So we got all this stuff here. He gave me one aftermarket kitty, so I kind of have your little kitty. I went through all my tires and I sent them in to Johnny DeChamps. And I know I say his last name wrong, but that's just how I say it. He was just down in the Dead Man Derby. I watched him live on TV last night. Sorry about your luck, Johnny. You guys did great. But I was definitely rooting for you. I was watching the TV. But today, we went garage sailing after we went and got all this stuff. And I bought some stuff. Bought a whole bunch of used spray paint, because you know me. But he's asking $5 for all this, so I bought it. And then I paid $40 for this. So this is going to help me around the shop, sucking out oil and all that fun stuff. But what we're going to mostly do today is we're going to be working on this. This is the car I bought off Steven, and I've done a little bit of stuff to it so far. I picked out some of the garbage that's in it. There was a $5 bill over there on the ground. I picked that up. But we're going to be going through this today and basically just getting this thing all set up. So what do we have to do is, I kind of want to sweep all this stuff through the hole in the floor. I kind of want to clean up some of this wiring because the wiring is atrocious. So what it looks to me is it looks like all these switches stopped working on Steven, as you guys can see in the video that he provided. And this looks like the power from my computer. This looks like the power for my fuel pump, and then the starter wires are just right there on the window bar. So just going to be doing some little bit of cleaning up. I do not like where the fuel line is, so we're going to be fixing that. And just doing little stuff like that. Some of the bolts in the roof ripped out. I had to ratchet strap it down on the way home. And then we got to take off his roof sign, because that's Steven's roof sign, not mine. We got to take a look at some of the trailing arms, but we might wait for that till we get it in the shop. We did put a new spindle in it because this spindle was broken. We might have to throw a skin on it. I'm not sure yet. This side looks okay. Repaint the car, obviously. Might try to figure out something to do with the rad support in this, because Steven apparently just destroyed it. Cut something out of something going to scrap and just throw in this. I don't have really anything going to scrap right now. So we'll have to see what I can do for a rad support. Maybe just build one, I don't know. And the other thing that we started doing there today is the cylinders. I tried to lift a car with this. It wouldn't lift the car. It was just I got this cylinder already rebuilt. They had to put a whole new shaft into it. But these ones right here just needed new seals. So these were taken out, sent out, got new seals. And because it's a long weekend, they'll be ready for me on Tuesday morning. So we did get this thing painted. It looks like trash. I understand that. We still have a little bit more wiring to do for the lights. And then throw the seals back in it. And then we can try to see if this thing will lift a car finally. I do have to put all these on them and weld them. These are just extra steel for the pins, and then they got grub screws in it to hold the pins. But I'm not too worried about that right now because I don't want to climb a ladder to have to weld this. So when this thing gets running, we'll drive it out and bring the welder out. But the main thing that we're going to be doing today is working on Steven's car. So let's see how far we can get on this thing today. Engine oil is black. So I have to get a light in there and find where this thing goes. And it goes, will this one fit? It's going to be tight. Oh buddy, look at that. Yeah, it's in the oil. So let's get that thing in there and we can drain it right through the dipstick hole. Because like I said, the fill plug is extremely hard to get at. So now, I think that this here goes onto this. And then this here goes into here. Now this has a spot where I can pump it, but I'm lazy. We're just going to put the air to it. Oh my God, here comes the oil! You guys see that? That's pretty cool. I've never had anything like this before. Okay, well, this thing is working. It's going to take a while, apparently, because I don't know how much oil's in there, but it all has to come out. We're going to go work on Steven's car. So just let that thing run there for a bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start on Steven's car is this shifter. I'm not an overly big fan of a high-mounted shifter, and maybe that's because I haven't ran a high-mounted shifter, but honestly, not a big fan of it. So, some people say they really like it. Some people, honestly, I've never ran with one, and I don't think I'm gonna like it. And I really don't think I'm gonna like this one because of the sharp edge facing me. Like, look at that sharp edge. So what we're gonna do, he's got it all pool noodled in. Like what is the trailer hitch doing? Nothing, and that's not even bolted. So we're gonna take out this trailer hitch because I don't know what it does. And then we're gonna take out this post because I don't like it. Looks like it was welded at one point in time, maybe. Maybe the weld broke, I'm not sure. Again, this is not my car, so I don't really don't know what's going on. So, gonna get this out, gonna get that shifter mounted to the floor. That is step one right now. So let's get that done. So after a little bit of work, I got out the center bar, I drilled a new hole in his shifter and mounted it to the floor. I cleaned up his fuel line, made it a little bit more pretty and out of the way. I did sweep the floors a bit because I'm being a little picky. Now, Steven did mention to me, this is usually not how he builds his car, so don't judge him on these cars, okay, guys? He was kind of in a massive rush while he was building this, and he didn't have the time to do stuff the way it should have been done. Like, even my bolt-in cage, he didn't put it in the way I guess he was rushing, and just didn't get it done. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to basically tackle some of the wiring. So here's the wiring for the positive for the fuel pump. The negative is disappeared. I don't know where it is. So we'll figure that out. I bought some zip ties off Amazon. It said heavy duty zip ties. Do those look heavy duty to you? Nope. Really read the description apparently next time. I cleaned up some wiring that was underneath the steering wheel, the factory Toyota Camry wiring. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of those 3 toggle switches. We're going to try to put one of my switchboards inside of this and just start cleaning up some of the wiring off this thing. Yeah, I'd like to hook up an emergency secondary to most of the wiring just in case, just like Steven did. But even the wiring to the starter, the main power to the starter and the ground, I really don't like running 2 separate cables. If you guys know, I usually ground my negative right to the chassis. So we might be adding a little ground from there to the chassis as well. I'm not sure. But yeah. Next up is wiring on this thing, and then we can start getting to the actual like fixing of the derby damage. So hold on. Now just like that, we have the electrical all cleaned up in this. What a difference from this morning. We put the ratchet strap back in this. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to run this seat because this is a power seat, and Steven didn't kind of put all the bolts in for it, so we are missing 1 bolt holding it to the floor. So the seat might be coming out and a different one going in. We got the gas tank strapped in there. We got a new fire extinguisher put in here. We got the battery wiring cleaned up. Now, this here is a fuse panel I actually bought off of Amazon. It's designed for side-by-sides and RZRs. So, computer, fuel pump, starter. Oh, hold on. That's a bad example. Let me just do that again. There you go. It runs. But then also this side, fuel pump, starter, they are ran to the same thing, but they're wired differently. So how this thing is it has 2 40-amp fuses in the back, and then it's got all your wiring. So I don't know if this thing's going to work the way I want it to. It does have 40-amp fuses. It's got lights to tell me what's on, but I do have it so that there is a loose power, so this is a positive, and there's my fuel pump. And there's my computer, so if worse comes to worse and that fails on me, I can kind of bypass it if need to. But I seen this thing for sale on Amazon, and I thought I'd try it out. It's cheap, and if it works, I'm definitely going to let you guys know. I do have one set up for the alternator, but that's another day because the alternator's seized. So it's pretty much been a full day in this thing, cleaning up the wiring, cleaning up the car, getting rid of stuff I didn't want, and there's still a little bit more to do. I do want to take a sawzall to some of the brackets that my knees may make love to inside the ring, but because I don't want to end up like one of our other competitors up here that got his knee cut open. So it does happen, guys, so make sure there's nothing that's going to hurt you inside this car. So basically, after today, we have to turn our attention to the engine bay. So this will be the next video. We are going to be maybe fixing this rad support, maybe putting a different one in. He did cut out a lot of the rad support, so we're going to have to see what we can do. Maybe I can steal one from another car and just kind of tack it in. And then we need a new alternator, because this one's seized. Maybe I'll be able to save that alternator, but I doubt it. And the other thing that we have to do is this car has no power steering, and I think it's because that line is kinked really hard right there. So the next video, we will be working underneath the engine bay, trying to get this thing cleaned up. Maybe we'll put a transmission cooler into it and check everything out over that. Really don't like how he has his brakes done, but again, they work. Really don't like some of the other things, but we're going to go through and we're going to make this thing a little bit better. Like something as simple as this. Maybe take that up a link, make it a little bit tighter. Oh yeah, I don't think we're going to save this alternator. She's cracked all the way around, right through the housing. So I think that alternator's trash. I'm going to clean out the throttle body because it's pretty nasty. And basically just do a one over the engine bay, and then we will put the tires back on it and drive it. But we do have to get that Walden finished before we get this thing into the garage. I would like to get it onto the garage because the rear end is also going to be needing a lot of work. So this is all some upcoming videos on this thing. So thanks guys for watching, and remember, you guys can just spend a little bit of time, clean up the engine bay. They don't have to look spectacular, but they do. Like, the cleaner it is, the less congested it's going to be in there, the better it is for you guys. Honestly, if you have something going wrong, you want to know where the wire is for you to do it. Everybody makes fun of me for Morettes, but when something goes wrong, I can take that Morette and touch it right off the positive, and I know that it's got direct power right to the unit. So just prepare for the worst, guys, because if it goes bad inside that ring, usually you're either finished or you got to think on your feet. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you back here later on Zach's Workshop.